Hi guys, my name is Lelasophia. I am an artist and fine jewelry designer. If you like contemporary fine jewelry, if you like luxury handbags, all things interiors, and I have some fun videos for you. Guys, I have kind of a rogue, like discussion-y kind of video. This is not going to be my 2025 wish list. This is not even my Christmas wish list, okay? I've been feeling a lot of things lately. I'm kind of curious to talk about how we're feeling about consumption, how we're feeling about I don't even know, like the array of goods that we have access to currently, how we're feeling about collecting. I don't know, there's a couple different topics that I'm very curious about that I'm gonna like oddly combine in one kind of like free form video, and we'll see how it goes. But first and foremost, if you guys are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you in all of my future videos. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram at lelasophia jewelry. I put out videos every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and so I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one. First and foremost, I think I essentially am kind of like wrapping in or concluding what I think I was thinking. That's the most redundant sentence I've ever said, but coming to the conclusion that I had like been feeling the last couple of videos I've talked about a little while ago. I think this next year, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I really think that this next year is gonna be the year that I invest in a Birkin or a hack, because I'm kind of obsessed with both and I'm really confused. So I'm just gonna let the universe do what the universe does. But I'm also aware that it's about to be Black Friday and sale season and Christmas sale season. And if I don't even get one then, January is a crazy sale season. So I think I'm preparing myself for that in a lot of ways. But even more so than that, I've been thinking so much that like, I don't want to consume as much as I did last year. And I think last year I did really, really, really well. I definitely purchased less bags, and in fact, this is crazy sounding, I purchased 11 bags so far, and I sold 10 bags in my collection. So essentially, I only gained one, which I'm cheating a little bit because a year ago I got a vintage lizard, like lady bag. Definitely has been the inspo for a lot of bags, including my Phoebe Philo clasp bag. And I got an alligator one. Karen Britchick just got one, and so everybody's like going crazy. You know, I'm just a trendsetter. I'm just kidding. I am not a trendsetter, but there's a couple little ones, like my Porto Studio pouch is so cute, and you know, the ones that like, do they count as a bag? Do they count as a purchase? I'm cheating a little bit. All in all, my consumption has definitely been, I felt better about it, but I still feel as though I've really overconsumed, and I did not need to get the amount of bags that I got, regardless of how many I sold. So you know, ethically, I feel really good about that. I'm still doing essentially one in, one out, sometimes even 2 out, 1 in. And I really have been thinking this next year that since I gave myself an allotted, not like financial budget, but a budget of just, is that the right way? I gave myself a rule. It's way better than budget, Sophia. Let's cognitively use our brains. I gave myself a rule last year in 2024, aka this year that we're currently still in, but you know, it's almost December, of only 1 bag a month. And I essentially followed that, except for my little cheating, you know, of my little mini purchases that were like a $70 alligator vintage bag, you know? Hopefully I'm okay with that. Next year, this is what we're starting out with. I only want to do 1 every 2 months, if that. And the thing that I'm going to try to do is only collect 6 bags next year, if that. If I could do 4, 1 a quarter, that's my goal in the next couple years. But I think like essentially I'm coming up, in fact, I have to check the date, but I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary of having my YouTube channel. And I think the first 2 years, the first year more so. The first year I really think I felt like pressure to be consuming and to be purchasing things. And if something was like a crazy deal, I'd be like, oh my God, this needs to go in my bag collection. And it like, not that anybody put that pressure on me, but I think the pressure, like that might be the scapegoat of like, I need to show this on my YouTube channel. And I need to show my audience how amazing pre-loved shopping can be and how many amazing deals you can get, yada, yada, yada. But really it was more so that, like getting very caught up in how accessible and how amazing pre-loved shopping is. And I'm all of a sudden realizing the major issues with that if I'm all of a sudden getting so many things that then I really like, do I wear these? Is this gonna be so amazing in my closet, or is it really just a good deal? Like, that kind of cuts, it's still much better than buying like fast fashion or over consuming new goods, but it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. So I think that's one thing I'm going to be very, very mindful of. If I'm going in circles here, please tell me. I'm trying to follow some kind of trail. Essentially, my rule number 1 is being much more mindful, even though I'm 90% of the time, not even, actually, I have bought some more bags this year that were retail, which I really never do. So I'd say 80% of the time, let's say, just to be kind. It's probably a little bit more than that. 80% of the time I'm buying my goods secondhand. But keep that same energy, Sophia. Like, if I'm still wanting to be really conscious and consume consciously, I also don't want to be over consuming. And so I think my year number 1 of having my channel was, oh my God, these bags are so amazing. And can you believe that I got this $4,000 bag for $700 3 years after it was, you know, on the shelves for that price? Like, it's insane. Understanding that, yes, we have so much more access to these amazing bags, but that doesn't mean you need to collect them all. And so 2024, I feel so much better about, because I don't think there's anything currently, of course I'll probably change my mind, I don't think there's anything currently in my collection that I'm like, oh my God, let me just sell this because I never wear it. I really consciously tried, okay, this is take a drink of water every time I say the word consciously apparently, really tried in the forefront of my brain to only collect bags that I know would be like, oh my God, this is so me, this is so good. The next amped up level from that, I think, cause like exhibit A of how insane I've gone, I bought a bunch, okay, of the same essentially mini bags that I really love and I wear to pieces, but I bought so many that I don't need anymore, okay? And of course there's gonna be some amazing exception when the row drops their, you know, next collection, their spring, their spring line, I'm sure. But I think being more conscious of that, I wanna find a balance between what I've been saying. I said this in my favorite picks of 2024, my favorite purchases, because I'm done purchasing for the year, hopefully. Just said this, that it's like, I think my first year of YouTube, but also really my first year of like really collecting, I don't know, my first several years of really collecting, I feel like people say to you, oh, you have that already. Get something different or get something in another color or another size or shape. And that this year I really negated. I was like, okay, I tried that and I failed. Getting a bright red double circle bag by the row, that's my favorite bag, in my favorite style, in a color that I would never actually wear. Like, why would I do that? I think I was thinking to myself, oh, it's different and it's new and you know what? It'll be so fun to try something new. Sometimes that works, and I have my couple little exceptions, like the red bag that I replaced it with, and my little butter yellow 90s bag, but really? Do I really need to do that? The more I actually let that rule go and did repeat bag style, like not bag styles, but was like, you know what? I love a small little chocolate brown tote bag, like not tote bag, but like toting around town bag. I love a small little chocolate brown mini bag, to put it simply, okay? I love that. I can repeat certain things in my closet, but at a certain point you're done. You got it, okay? So I think finding some kind of weird balance, which is a little bit hard, like the juxtaposition between really wanting to collect things that I'm going to wear that are me, that it's okay if it's redundant, but not over collecting. Does that make any sense to anybody? I don't know. So that's my rule number 2, I think. Something like that. Understanding, like all the videos that I made in my first year really helped me. Like I really was just like becoming, I don't know, I think it was cathartic, like talking about them out loud, having a sounding board. You guys are the best community of all time. Having people to help me understand my own style, to help understand what works really well for me. That I think was so nice. But then taking it up a notch and really listening to myself and not just listening, but like practicing that of, you know what? I love this like yummy nude cool tone camely color. It's okay if I do a little repeat situation here and then. My last point, which I think is maybe the best point, because the rest of these are really, I'm realizing they're just full me problems, and I'm curious if anybody can relate. But my last point is that, notice I've been talking all about the pre-loved market, okay? Other than the row, which we already know, and Bottega Veneta, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Now that I've been feeling bored with Bottega, but like kind of a little bit, my overall point is I've been feeling so bored with everything that is available for retail. I have been feeling so uninspired. Schiaparelli is an exception. I just am not in the tax bracket to be buying Schiaparelli 3 times a year. So that's an exception. But I think the conclusion of all of the musical chairs, which we've talked about and we can have more conversations about and more videos, but like the root of the issue of all of the musical chairs are that I don't feel as though any house, except for the Row and a little bit Bottega Veneta, obviously Hermes is different again. I'm just not in the tax bracket to be like talking about all the new Hermes shades because I can go ask my sales associate, my little Hermes fairy for one. I'm just not there yet. So those brands aside, I think that the overarching lords, aka, you know, the Bernard Arnaults of the world, have gotten so greedy with constantly wanting things to just perform well, and creative directors have not had enough of a chance to establish their voice at houses, which has led, I'm just deducting this is just my opinion, has led to brands putting out very messy styles. And that's not meaning that the styles themselves aren't really good, but like messy as in like their voice has been messy. Not their voice, not the actual designers, not the actual artists, not the actual like really amazing people who are doing probably overtime work trying to pump out new styles for the owners of Kering and the owners of LVMH and, you know, all the crazy people or the amazing, very, 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 very wealthy people who are pulling all the strings. The artists themselves are probably, I feel that they're overworked. I can see it in the designs. We can go through a lot of examples, okay? But in a year when we had a scandal, okay, allegedly, where a house was using, again, alleged like third-party contractor that had almost sweatshop-like conditions. Like, huh? In 2024, that's a conversation that we're having when brands are having quality issues up the wazoo, okay? And when brands like, no offense, but brands like Prada have just been churning out, which I did an entire video, I think I did 2 videos on, but brands like Prada have still been making bags that are just so blatant, obvious copies of other design, you know, like of other bags. And so I think I'm just so wildly uninspired that it's making me not want to shop retail. It's making me not want to shop retail. And again, a whole other video on this, but the in-person shopping has felt so weird lately. And I live in New York City and I've lived here my entire life. And this is the weirdest it's ever felt. And I have worked retail many a year, if that's how you say that. And I owned a store, okay? So I like to say that I have some experience in this department because I'm very lucky, and my mom and my grandma and my aunt, you know, we loved to go into stores. I've been doing it for a really long time. And something seems very exclusionary. First and foremost, I think a little biased, a little weird. Like, I have experimented where if I go shopping with my Kelly, people treat me differently than when I went shopping with my one of my best friends, wearing my charmed up the wazoo, very childlike, playful, silly Louis Vuitton Speedy bag. I got treated so differently with both bags. Like, what? That is so weird. All of a sudden, I'm only taken seriously when I'm wearing my vintage Kelly. That's insane. That coupled with the actual designs themselves has made me literally want to choose more to when I actually go into a store. We also the Bethany Frankel Chanel thing. Like, there's so many examples of why it's like the oxymoronic thing is happening where brands are actually needing more sales, but their in-person shopping has become insanely exclusionary. It's made me not want to shop in person anymore. But you know where I do have really lovely experiences, and this is not like I wish somebody was sponsoring me, but not at all. What goes around comes around. Lovely experiences. The real, I usually have a good experience. Sometimes it helps if my brother or my mom are in there buying things. That's the other thing. When I go with someone who is buying something, or I all of a sudden am about to buy something or make it seem like I'm about to buy something, then all of a sudden people perk up and get really excited and start chatting with you. That's insane. I never ran my business that way. I would never represent anybody else's business who I was working with at the time that way in a sales person role, client facing. Maybe this should have been an entire video, but essentially I'm wondering how everybody else is feeling. I'm talking about like, there's nothing from it. I've been talking about the Row because they've not just become my favorite brand, but they're like solidified as my favorite brand for the consistency, their quality over everything, and the nuances of their design choices. That's a really weird thing to say, but a very accurate statement. I'm just very curious to hear what anybody else is thinking, because the reason why I haven't been talking about so many other brands, which I used to try to do the first 2 years of my channel, is that there's nothing I want. There's nothing I want, and it's seeping into every single brand. Again, Bottega Veneta is my love, okay? They're my second favorite brand, duh. Many times, many years were my first, and the colors that they're coming out with, I'm more excited about than the actual styles. There's something wrong there if that's the case. Long story, very, very long. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts and what do you think can change? And this should probably be a whole other video. So maybe this is just the start. I can't wait to hear your thoughts again, to repeat that, but I love you guys so much. This is apparently just the start. So many, many, many videos to come on this, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Bye guys.